How are you, Maxine? You all good?
Yeah, doing good, thank you. How are you guys?
Yeah, good.
Not too bad.
Just saying to John there, I'm trying to do a cardio workout called Sean T Insanity Max 30, and it's kicking my ass, Maxine.
Are you doing that every day?
Yeah, I'm trying to get fit after lockdown, and it's not working. So,
Oh, you got to stick at it.
Yeah, if it's all about consistency. Consistency gives results, Paul.
That's right.
That's a bit of motivation for you two here. I'm liking this. We'll turn it on again.
So how have you been through the lockdown period, Maxine? You've been keeping yourself busy?
Yeah. I mean, at the start, it was kind of like, we were all sort of, we all didn't really know sort of how long it was going to last, did we? So
yeah,
I think every month and that we've all been in hope that things are going to be returning back to normal, really soon. But obviously now it's getting longer and longer, and we still sort of don't know what exactly is happening. But I've just been literally keeping busy with production. So I've got lots of stuff finished. I'm just finishing off now my first album.
Awesome.
So really excited about that. And it's just been a really good project to work on, especially in lockdown. It's just given me loads of time to like finish it all off and stuff. So yeah.
Awesome. Look forward to hearing that.
What kind of stuff can we expect from that then, Maxine?
So there's a mixture. I've worked with about 5 different vocalists on the album.
Right.
So some are like female vocals, like singers, and then the others are like more like spoken word stuff.
All right.
So yeah, it's been really fun. The project started like before lockdown. So it's been in the making for a little while now, but because we're now in lockdown, it's just giving me more time to like, perfect everything and get everything sounding spot on. But yeah, so it's just a mixture. Like there's some collabs in there. I've just finished off a collab with Mark Knight.
Yep.
That should hopefully be going on the album as well. But yeah, it's I mean, we were going to release it like earlier on this year, but I think we're just sort of going to hold off for a bit, just to see how things sort of, progress really with like.
Yeah.
So see, when you've been doing your collaborations, are you mainly kind of doing that online with people and kind of going backwards and forwards that way throughout the whole lockdown thing? Yeah.
Well, the collabs on the album, we actually finished them. We actually sort of got the main ideas, like they were nailed sort of before lockdown.
Oh.
Right.
But I recently did a collab with Legend Dance, and that was just literally online. So I had an idea. I had a few ideas, and then I sent them over to the guys. They chose one that they really liked, and then it was quite a smooth process really.
Mm-hmm.
And there wasn't too much like going back and forward. It was just like they chose the idea, worked on it a bit more. I made some tweaks, and then I think a few more little backs and forths, and then it was all complete. So yeah.
I think lockdown's given us time to just do the little niggly bits that no one likes to do with production, isn't it? It's always fun putting the ideas down, and then it's like I'll come back to that later on at some point, and it's just never happens.
100%. It's been really good just to like really focus in on everything. And
So how did you get started with the whole music thing, Maxine? What was your kind of journey to get into where you are now, I guess? That's a big question, actually.
I mean, it's quite a lot to say, but it kind of started. I'm from near Brighton. I'm from a town near Brighton, and I moved from my hometown that I've grown up in like my whole life. I moved from there to London.
Mm-hmm.
And it was at that time that I started getting into music.
Yeah.
So I think it was around 6 or 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Literally I moved to London, and I knew the scene there was like really good for house music. And from where I'm from, there wasn't like loads and loads going on. So I knew that moving to London could really like expose me to more stuff and more DJs, more clubs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it was at that point I started to learn how to mix, and then I always knew that I wanted to mix house music. That was always a genre that I absolutely loved. So I just started putting out mixes, and getting in touch with like some venues and promoters, and then you know how it is. You get, you know, you play it at one place, and then you might meet some more people there, and word of mouth, and then it leads to something else and more opportunities. So I started DJing before I learned how to produce. So production came about a year after I'd been DJing. So I was always like really curious, just like how you can create your own sound, you know, build something of your own. And when I kind of looked at the people that inspired me, you know, I looked at their career path and what they had achieved themselves, and you know, you can see that, you know, they're releasing their own music, they have their own sound, they may have a label or run their own events. And so for me, I was always like, you know, why not try and reach, you know, your maximum potential sort of thing. So so I just got stuck right into production about a year in after I'd learned how to DJ. And you know, it's hard at first with production because there's just so much to take in. And
did you smash any computers up, Maxine?
Almost.
Out of frustration?
Yeah, almost.
We've all been there.
A few keyboards. We've all been
no, literally at first it is like that. You know, you watch, because
you got to stick it out.
The thing now is we've got the internet, and there's so many. There's so many resources online for us to learn stuff. So I just sort of made use of that. And just watching lots of like YouTube videos and stuff. But it can get quite, you know, because you're trying to search for a certain thing to learn, but sometimes the YouTube videos cover so much.
It can be a bit overwhelming at times.
What's that?
It can be a bit overwhelming at times, just with the sheer amount of information and trying to find that particular answer that you're looking for.
Exactly, that's right. So, it's just, you know, at first there's a lot to take in, and, you know, when you're starting out as well, you may not necessarily know a lot of other producers as well. So it's kind of, you feel quite alone, I think, at the start, unless you've got a lot of people around you. But obviously, as time goes on, you do meet, you know, you meet more producers, you meet other DJs, and you can reach out to them and ask for advice and, you know, ask for any, you know, feedback on your tracks.
I think people that are of the same kind of mindset is essential, isn't it? Because like you say, on your own, on YouTube, you can just be going to one style to the next, one sample pack to the next thing, and before you know it, you're just going round in circles, aren't you? It's a little bit like that. So you've got to really know what you want to be and have people around you with similar mindsets.
Totally, and it's easy quite, you know, to get distracted as well.
You know,
like,
especially on YouTube.
I know. I know.
It's always recommended videos. That one, and then you get sidetracked. But
the cats, sometimes like dancing cats and stuff. It's so damn appealing. I don't know what that is. Like, you go onto like Able and you open it up, and before I know it, you're watching a video of a cat in a hat dancing about. I know. I don't know how that works. So
well, you have to be like really quite disciplined, I think, to just be like, right, this is what I want to learn. This is what I want to sort of achieve this week and stuff. But what I kind of found really helped me was, I still do it. Like, I always write like to-do lists. So like, you know, and it kind of, once you write it down, it holds you accountable. Like, you have to then, you have to then learn that and achieve that. So I was always
when you were learning how to produce them, were you mainly self-taught, or did you kind of get that bit of help along the way as well, do you think?
It's a bit of a mixture. Like, to begin with, it was just self-taught because I didn't really know, to be honest. When I moved to London, I didn't know many other producers until I started DJing. That's when I started meeting other producers. But so at first it was self-taught. And then I think I just sat in with some other producers at the time, and I bought a lot of like tutorials as well. I think it was like the D. Ramirez one with Faded Pro courses, and Left Wing Cody, and there's just so much online. It was mainly online stuff, but I kind of felt like I was with someone when you're watching when you buy like a tutorial. It kind of feels like you know, you are with someone, so it does help.
Yeah, I remember reading somewhere before they say you can't learn it all, you just can't possibly learn it all. So you have to kind of harness what you want to learn from it and keep chipping away at that side of things.
Yeah, definitely.
Just take what you can from it.
There's like so much to take in, and you know, like I have producers message me sometimes, you know, asking me sometimes, you know, for advice on how they can. But I think I always do say to them, like, just don't like kind of try and learn everything, because sometimes as well people try and get like loads of different plugins and loads of different stuff, and you're trying to learn like all these different things, and it's just too much to take in. And I've just always said, like, learn one plugin, like might be Silent or Minimoo, just have one, and just get your head round that one, and because a lot of them do all the same stuff anyway, really. So if you get your head around one, and then just over time, I think you build up like the sounds you like as well. Because I think at the start, I was just playing around with any sort of like sample packs and stuff, but as you go along, you find what you like.
Mm-hmm.
You can build like folders, you know, the kicks that you like, or the, you know, whatever, the claps, the hi-hats, and you just build a catalogue of sounds, and then over time you're like, okay, you know, it's all starting to come together now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's definitely,
it's interesting. It's interesting to hear each guest's take on how they've made most of this time, basically. I was saying to John, it's looking like there's probably a little more time ahead, because John, we're into lockdown now. John can't visit me and I can't visit John, so he's got to look at my face on Zoom for like the next 6
months. I've been missing you so much as well. Missing you so much.
It looks like we're going to be stuck talking on Zoom for another 6 months, John. I'm sorry you're stuck.
As long as it's every day, Paul, I'm quite happy.
What's every day for you?
A lot of people have been using Zoom a lot more, haven't they?
Yeah, it's been incredible.
It's really good,
When you ask people like yourself, Maxine, to come on, there's never a question of what is Zoom and how does that work. Everybody knows what it is and how to work it. So it saves us a hassle, but I think there's going to be a lot more time ahead to just, spend more time on production possibly, and maybe the attention's gone away from live performance a little bit.
Definitely. I think, like, you know, it's good now with obviously with the internet, we can do like live streams, and we can connect with you know, people that, for example, like if people can't necessarily come to like our gigs, like say there's people in, I don't know, Italy that like someone's music, if they're not able to get to the gigs, they are actually able to connect with them now, just like on a live stream. So in a way, the gigs have stopped, but you're still able to perform to like loads of people. So
have you been keeping yourself busy with the live streams as well?
I've had a few. Like we did, Torn did a Beatport one. They had because we released the T2 album, which was like a collaborative album. So to celebrate that, they did a Beatport. They collaborated with Beatport and did like the live stream with them. So did that one. I've got one coming up. I'm going to record it next week, but it's for Gene Farris's. He started this platform called Carnival with Dirty Bird.
Right.
So I'm going to do a live stream with them. And then, I've done some other live streams as well. So, it's been good. It's been good. I think with music, there's always stuff to do, isn't there? Like, it's never ending.
Yeah, definitely.
Really is. Always, I couldn't believe it, because at one point it was more like a furloughed thing for 2 months, and I still didn't have enough time to do everything I wanted to do. I was like, it was my realisation that I'll never be able to do everything that I want to do. It was crazy. Like I was like, I couldn't even get through it fast enough. It's probably because John kept topping me up with to-do list and giving me things to do. But I mean,
I know I've still got more to add on to that.
Oh, come on, give us a break, John. Jesus. But that was the realisation. It was like there's always something to do, isn't there? Like, because if you've got that kind of productive mindset, it's like, well, I'll do this, I'll do that. Before you know it, the day was filled up.
Definitely.
More than it ever is.
Yeah, that's it. There's always something to do. So.
I saw you've been DJing as well recently. Were you in France recently, was it?
Oh yeah, so we did about 3 weeks ago now. But they just announced, before I left, they just announced the self-isolation after coming back from France.
Oh, okay.
So I had to self-isolate for 2 weeks.
Okay. Lots of studio time.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, to be honest, I wasn't, I was at home anyway, just doing music from home. So it didn't affect me too much. And it was just so nice to get out there and, play to some people and stuff. It was like it was an outdoor setup.
Right.
And then they had like the tables sort of spread out, and then they had a bit of a dance floor at the front. So
Awesome.
yeah, it was a really good vibe. Really nice.
Is it good being out DJing again after all those months?
I know. It'd been I think the last gig before that was March. So
yeah,
5 months or so.
I think it makes you appreciate it that little bit more, doesn't it? Because it's been that long, and you realise what you've been missing.
Definitely, 100%.
I think it's interesting that the whole thing that Mark Knight's built up with Toolroom. We had Mark on a couple of weeks ago, and it's just what you guys have got going is just incredible, isn't it? The sort of unity with you guys on the label. How did that all come about, Maxine, getting involved with Mark in Toolroom?
Yeah, well, I'd always been a fan of Toolroom and Mark's music for ages. So I'd just been producing for about just under a year. And I saw that they were doing they do the Toolroom Academy. So they do they've got obviously all the online stuff, but they also do live masterclasses, Academy, Toolroom Live Academy Live sessions. Yeah. So they were doing one down in Brighton, and it was just coming out, and I was like, I really want to go to that. I had some demos ready. I think this was it's 2017.
Right.
Around May 2017. And then, I went along. I had some production masterclasses with some other producers.
Yeah.
And, at the end, you got to give them your demo. So I think I gave them 1 or 2 tracks. And then they select at the end, I think they selected 10 tracks to play out to the whole room at the end.
All right.
To give feedback on. So that was. I mean, I hadn't been producing long, so I knew I still had a lot to work on and things. So
that's always nervy, isn't it? When we done that at college before, and everybody just tears it to shreds. It's like, oh, come on.
Yeah, I know. Totally. I mean, I was just I really just want to get feedback. I know my tracks aren't yet ready to they're not there yet, but that's the whole point of going along to these things and just putting yourself out there. So it was after that session that I then, when you go there, you meet everyone face to face as well. So I got their emails and started to meet some of the team. And then, I just continued, because I had their email from that day, I just continued to send through demos.
Yep.
And then I think after 3 or 4 more demos, they then signed the next track that I'd sent them.
Yep.
And then, I think that was around 2018, early 2018.
Yep.
And then, it just sort of built from that, really. It's just kind of how organically, naturally sort of the relationship's built over the last, 2 to 3 years, really. But it's so good to be involved with them. They're all
it's a great kind of family sort of unit, isn't it, John? The sounds of it, it's the whole team behind Toolroom just sounds like they all work together so well. It's inspiring. Me and John can learn a couple of things because we just fight too much, don't we, John? There's too much.
Fight over Zoom right now.
No, it's incredible what he's doing, and obviously there's a lot of potential with your production, Maxine, because they must get sent demos left, right, and centre, basically. Because
that's it. I mean, I think when I was sending out demos at the start, I always knew that a lot of these bigger labels, they receive so many demos, don't they? So how can you sort of get through, send your demo and get it heard? So that's why I just thought the Academy live session was just a really good opportunity, because it's always good, isn't it, when you can put a face to a name.
Yeah, definitely.
I guess it's about kind of making that connection with the people and then being able to chat to them as well and getting that feedback and progressing it to the next level, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And that's always advice that I say to people, if anyone says, oh, how do I sign my music to, you know, some of these whatever labels, so Toolroom or whatever, I just, you know, say if you can get to the events, if you can get to meet them face to face, like you should try and make that effort, because that's
good advice. That's good advice, because I think a lot of people think it's all just internet based now, don't they? It's all social media driven, and that is a big part of it. But you're right in what you're saying. I think people have to get out and support.
Yeah. And I think if especially if you want to build like a long-term relationship with like a label, you know, you can build relationships over the internet. It's, you know, it can be done, but it's not as good as meeting them face to face, I think.
Yeah, it's that personal connection, isn't it?
Definitely. What would you say is some of your kind of best memories so far then, Maxinne? Your kind of best accomplishments, would you think? And where do you want to kind of head from here, really? What's next?
Well, I think for me, like, when something that opened up a lot of doors for me was when I got signed to Toolroom as like a, you know, when they took me on as an artist, like under the management. So that was just after my first single on the main label, which was just over a year ago, actually. It was about, I think, like April 2019. So, yeah, that getting signed to the label really opened up a lot of doors for me. It also led to the residency in Ibiza, Eden, that was on Sundays.
Oh, brilliant.
And then from that I had like other releases out, like on Knee Deep in Sound and Save Records. So, yeah, I'd say that was like definitely a big milestone for me, and something that I you know, could say is just like a really good memory, and
definitely that's a good
really helped with my progress. And yeah, I think another one for me was when I signed my first EP with Knee Deep in Sound, because that was always a label like I'd listened to Hot Since '82 for, you know, as long as I can remember. Yeah. And that music, you know, the music on the label is always stuff that I'm playing, always stuff that I'm supporting. So I was really, really blown away and happy when he came back and said he'll sign the EP. So
it sounds like you've came quite a long way in a relatively short period of time. You've definitely done extremely well.
Oh, thank you. I think it just can't, you know, it's the more sort of time you put into something, I think you always see the results, don't you? And I think like with production especially, like, you don't have to be a certain, like, you don't have to have like a huge background in music. Like I didn't learn, you know, I didn't do music at college or school, but I always loved music from a child, and I think just having that connection to it, like, just drove me to want to put a lot of time into learning. And I think, you don't have to be any type of person or background in music to know how to produce. You just got to put the time in. And, you know, the more time you put into something, the more results you'll see. So
exactly. So, Paul, you need to get back onto those workouts again. Make sure you're being consistent, get the results, you know.
Letting my ass off here, John. Come on. I'll even stand up. I had to get wheeled in and wheeled out in this chair today, John. Come on.
That's it. Pain is just weakness leaving the body.
It is painful after the first few workouts, after not doing it for so long. I did that in lockdown. It was a like hip workout this girl was doing online, and I hadn't really done much for a while, and I started doing that. And
Maxinne, he feels my pain, John. At least I've got a bit of sympathy from Maxinne, unlike you. Because he is like a fitness instructor. He teaches like martial arts and things, so he's no sympathy for us, Maxinne.
Part of the job description, Paul. No compassion.
See what I've got to put up with here, Maxinne.
Did I hear you were staying in Ibiza for a while as well? Did you spend a good bit of time in Ibiza, like doing your residency and stuff?
Yeah, well, so I mentioned I moved to London from like my hometown, so I moved there for like 3 years, and then it was after that I moved to Ibiza. So I actually did a couple of winters out there actually.
That's great.
Because my friend lives out there, and he's got an apartment out there, and I just thought it was a good opportunity to also like go out there, get to know the island, but also just focus on like my production during the winter. So I think that was winter of 2016.
Right.
So that was like the first winter I did, and then I spent the season of 2017, 18 and 19. I did 3 seasons out there.
God, how did you survive, Maxinne? Jesus.
There's so much going on there.
It's survive a week.
I know. I've got to obviously just go easy on the partying. I think if you live there the whole summer.
Yeah, you wouldn't last otherwise.
Yeah, exactly.
It must be quite inspiring though, like when you're going out and you're getting to hear all the music like all day during the season and stuff, then you maybe want to come back into the studio and start getting straight back to work again.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like as well when I did the seasons, that's when I really knew in terms of production. Like that's when I was like, oh, this is the sound that I love. Because you hear it in like the big clubs, don't you?
Yep.
It's that's when I kind of really found my sound, I think, and then I knew then the direction that I wanted to sort of go in.
Yeah, I think reaction from the crowd as well and things in those big Ibiza clubs, especially Eden, that's a great club, and it's the reaction, you would just be seeing exactly where you want to take your music at that point then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's such an inspiring place, and there's always there's always people you can meet out there. There's events on from Monday to Sunday, everything, there's something going on all the time. So
I feel a bit hungover just thinking about it, actually.
Did you go out there this year or not? Yeah.
But this year, no, I haven't been for a long time. We went out when we were a lot younger, kind of lads' holidays and stuff, but not so much out for the DJing. But no, I've not been. But me and John were thinking possibly next year getting back out, and hopefully if this all eases off a little bit.
I know. Well, because it was, obviously they had, they announced that all the clubs weren't really opening. So, but there's still so much to do out there. Like, there's a lot of bars open, and there's always like villa parties and things going on. So I'm sure it's been such a good season this year. It's just a bit different, isn't it? Can
you get us into a couple of villa parties, Maxinne, by any chance? Can you get the connections in there?
Might be able to stick to that, yeah.
Backstage passes.
We'll just have a party on here, John. A little winter party on the Zoom chat.
No, after we have a fight, Paul. After we have a fight.
We'll fight you next week after I've done more Sean T working out. All right. We won't keep you too much longer, Maxinne. Thanks a lot for taking time to chat to us. We'd like to just keep it quite casual. And I mean, it's a great opportunity to talk to DJs around the world, basically, and people like yourself, producers, and we always learn a lot from chatting.
Yeah, I've seen what you've been doing and stuff, so I was checking out some of your other videos. It's really cool. So
thank you. So what's next for you, Maxinne? What have you got coming up next?
So I've got production wise, I've got a track coming out in October, that'll be on Toolroom Tracks, their sub label. So that's October time, and then I've got something else penciled in just before the end of the year. With releases, so I'm just working on finishing that off, and then I've got so next week I'm going to record this live stream, which will be going out on this new platform with Dean Ferris.
Yep. And
then gigs wise, a lot of the gigs I had this year in the summer have just sort of been rescheduled. Like there's stuff penciled in, like rescheduled for December and October time, but as we sort of move along and hear more news about it, it's still
it's playing it by ear right now, isn't it? Just to find out, make sure everything's still going to go ahead and stuff.
Yeah, so just playing it by ear in terms of gigs, and then other than that, I'm literally just doing production on my stage and just trying to keep the creative flow going. So
when's this album coming out as well? Is we're going to be getting to hear that soon?
Yeah, well, I think as soon as we have news on the clubs, that's when we're looking to sort of release it, because there's quite a few tracks on the album that I made to play out in the clubs, and I just want to, I want to be able to play them myself, and also just if I can send them around to other DJs as well, and they're playing them, it's it's just a bit of a weird, it feels slightly weird timing to release them now, although there is, the album, you know, there is some more like vocal driven stuff on there, and I feel like there is a variation on there, so you can also enjoy it like not only in the club, like maybe you know, at home or in the gym or in the car. Like I feel like there is a variation there on the album. So, but I think as it stands, it will probably be like early next year.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Cool. Look forward to hearing that.
Yep, nice one. No, thanks a lot, Maxine. It's been an absolute pleasure having a chat with you. Thanks a lot for taking time out. And I've got a workout with Sean T right now. I'm going to go for round 2. So I need to kick John's ass.
Round 2?
No, I'm going to go to bed, to be honest. No, thanks a lot, Maxine. I'm sure we'll catch up with you again soon, all right?
Yeah, good chat to you, Maxine.
Take care.
Cool. Cheers, guys. Bye.